Hey, my name is Tara Anglis, and one of the things that I love to do is help hairstylists live in healthier bodies because doing hair for 21 years, I know that it is hard on our body. So I was in conversation with a new friend on Facebook the other day, and she was sharing with me some of the areas of her body that hurts. I thought I would do up a quick resource for her to have. Thought I might as well make it shareable and let everybody take advantage if this is information that resonates with you. The three areas that she had shared with me that were problematic for her, she has bursitis, so that's like in the hip and butt area, like it's all inflammation in that area. She was having some shoulder discomfort and pain, and then plantar fasciitis. I'm going to share a few exercises and a couple tips on what has worked really well for me to help with those aches and pains that tend to end up being chronic for us. I hope that you can see everything okay. I'm just kind of winging this to share. Yeah, that's probably going to be good there. So we're just going to start with a little bit of core because I feel like we're bent over a lot, and it can really affect that hip area. So when you get a roller, if you don't already have one, you're going to lay right on it. Your feet firmly on the floor. Your hands can be palms facing up or down. It's up to you. And just be stable on the roller. And this is the key to all of the positions for this on the roller is you want to bring your pelvic tilt up so that this part of your spine that's got the curve, you want to kind of push that down onto the roller and just kind of open and close that position. And this here, it just helps with alignment. When we are in alignment, everything else can work properly. So this is a really good core posture to help with alignment. A variation on this is you can bring both, using your hands to keep you stable, bring both of your feet off the floor, and you can do exercises like this to help with that core strength. Really making sure that in your core you are solid and secure and that your tailbone is on the roller. So you can just do some tapping exercises. This is really good for strengthening that lower core so that with the bursitis, we can work on those hips and hip flexors, glutes with more secure. So that is one move. It's a very low impact exercise that has a high value to it. It doesn't look like much. The first time I started doing this on a roller, a couple of days later was quite surprised at how much I could feel it with waking up some muscles that I hadn't used in a long time. So that is one exercise. Pretty easy so far. You can just lay here really, because it's a good stretch for opening up the shoulder area too, and literally just do some deep breathing. Depending on how you feel, I know as we go through each week and each month, sometimes we feel our pain more than other times. So I know when I was experiencing high amounts of chronic pain, sometimes this was just enough to just hang out on the roller. Let's see. Another great exercise is to roll on the outer parts of the hips. So we will bring the roller around like this. Hop on. I'm just going to be careful I don't end up on my bobble and then just get into position. This lower leg can be in front or behind. Really what you're looking for is to release tension, and wherever you can feel the tension is kind of where you want to hang out and break up that tightness. Whatever I do on one side, I always try and do on the other. For this video, I will keep it short and just show you one-sided versions. But this also helps, and really, you can go all the way. You just want to hang out where you can really feel it and stretch and roll and breathe into it. On the floor. What else do I have here? So with the roller, for the upper body part, this is one of my favorites because shoulder has always been a thing for me. And I think, well, partly I'm short. The other is I feel like a lot of my shoulder pain comes from my wrists, my fingers, you know, like this motion. And I think it just lands in the shoulder for me. So this one here is one of my favorites. Literally just kind of, my bum's on the floor, rollers, you know, mid to upper back. I'm going to lift up my bum, and I'm just going to roll back and forth. Normally I would roll it more, but my couch is in the way. And then go over your ponytail. And really just making sure that you're not straining your neck. Sometimes I'll even do some curls and just really get a nice arc in my back. And then as I'm coming down, just kind of relaxing those shoulders out. When I come back up, you can bring those elbows in and then drop them lower. After I do a few of those stretches, quite often when I do that stretch, I can actually feel alignment shifting like I'm at the chiropractor. It's lovely and wonderful. Bums firmly on the floor for this stretch. I'm literally just, when I first started doing this, like this was pretty much as far as I could go. And you just have to do what's comfortable for you. When you're coming up, it's really important, again, that you're not straining your neck. You really want to like lift with the front part of your face, like use your muscles to bring your head up instead of relying on the back of your neck. You don't want to create more problems, but when I first started doing this one, I couldn't go all the way back, and now I can actually put my head right on the floor, so that's been progress. And while I'm here hanging out, again, making sure that I'm in the most comfortable spot for me on the day, depending on my level of pain or ease. And then just hanging out. Sometimes I'll move my arms around. You can really feel this in the shoulder blade area. That's my trigger. So like I said, I like to hang out in this spot. Just do some deep breathing. You know, if you need to reposition a little bit, move your bum down or up a couple of inches, and just really breathe into the relax of the stretch and opening up this chest area, the shoulder blades. When we come back up, you want to make sure that your neck is supported again, and I quite often will finish with a few more rolls just to see if there's any more, you know, crystals or cracks or anything that's going to crunch and tweak and realign. And then again, just hanging out where you really like to hang out to open up all that area. Okay, anything else with the roller? So this is all great for bursitis and shoulder so far. So laying down in a lateral leg raise. This is also another one, and so your bottom leg is bent, okay, so you can see this one here is bent, and just this lateral leg rise. And again, it's really doing some work in this hip area for that bursitis. You can do half, you can go all the way up, you can do like, and then bend your knee again up here and do a few reps of that. You will start feeling it singing in this area, but it is going to strengthen those hips and buttocks. What else do I have? The frog pose. So this one here is great. It feels so good. You're literally just kind of opening your legs as much as you can, and then coming down on the floor. Again, listen to your body. Every time you do this, you will feel more open or less open depending on what's happening in your life, how busy or, you know, crazy things are for you. This stretch feels amazing for opening up that hip area. Another great one is I'm sure you've seen this one before, but I know, like for me, the backs of my butt gets tight sometimes, and I think that's from standing. So having your one foot over the other knee and bringing one hand on the knee, the other one on the top of your foot, and just gently like bringing this knee here forward to open up the stretch that you're going to feel on the opposite butt cheek. And when I'm in this position, I also like to just roll. So back and forth, and maybe do some small circles, and just really opening up the, I don't know all my muscles, but I know my butt sometimes gets tight, and this one feels really good. And the butt's so closely connected to the hips and the hip flexors. So that's a great one. You always want to make sure you do the other side. One side's usually more tight than the other. Okay, this one here is great for lower legs and the bursitis hip area. I do a lot of walking also, so this is a great stretch. And literally it's just bringing that front foot up as far as you can and bending down. I know wearing black on black today probably wasn't the greatest choice, but so bringing that, legs are on the inside, and you're just lowering that hip down, keeping your hip bones square with your shoulders. You don't want to be twisted or really wanting to make sure that you're square with those shoulders, and dropping the hip, lowering it down. You're going to feel a stretch on the front of one leg and then on the back of the other leg. And then right from this position, you're going to hold that for a minute or 3. You're literally going to go from that position and then into another stretch where you're kind of taking a seat on your hip, or lower towards your heel, your bum towards your heel, and with your foot staying flat on the floor. That's an important key to this stretch. And you're going to feel that all the way across the top of your foot. And then you're also going to feel it all the way across the back of your leg right in here. So you're just going to stretch that out. Because sometimes the tightness in our hips, just like I said for shoulders, the tightness is coming from a lower part of our extremity. So we loosen this up, and it might help loosen this up. That's why I like this stretch so much. And then obviously do the same for the other side. You could even do a step 3 on this one. And just kind of sit on that heel, get comfy there for a sec, and then go down and grab the other foot and just breathe into that stretch. And that one's going to give you all the back of your leg. A little bit of your lower back is going to also get a stretch. So that's a good one for opening up the lower body. And then for plantar fasciitis, that's also going to help with plantar fasciitis. I have this little ball. So it is a very hard bouncy ball, kid's toy. So for plantar fasciitis, this is great because you're just going to take your shoe off and do some exercises. My husband used to have really bad plantar fasciitis, and his feet when he changed fields. So he used to build houses. He was in construction and building. He was climbing the ladder every day, all day long. And when he changed careers, that stopped, and he developed plantar fasciitis. So the ball was a great exercise for him. And it's literally just, again, rolling around, finding those sweet spots, hanging out on them for a second, and just really giving the bottom of your foot the relief that it needs. There's lots of crunches happening in my foot. This feels really good. Also great to do on the hands. I have a smaller ball that I used to use when I was working full-time in the salon that was great for getting in this thumb area, but this ball would work too, and it's literally just like putting pressure on and rolling it around, loosening up all that tightness. Okay, one more that I'm going to show you on the roller for the shoulder area. So I had mentioned that I do think that a lot of my shoulder pain comes from this kind of an action. So with the roller, just move it so you can see it clearer. So it's going to be right in front of you this way. And you're literally, just be careful if you have any rings on for this one. So you're going to lay right on the roller. So the roller is pretty much right at your pubic bone. And then placing your arm underneath the roller, palm facing up. Getting comfy here. And sometimes, because I like to add pressure, like if I'm having a massage, I like deep tissue, so I usually for this one add extra weight from this arm, but you don't have to, you can do it without, and literally just steamrolling all the way down to your wrist. And if you're really tight in this area, what happens when you roll down is a lot of times fingers curl up. I want you to try and keep a flat hand for this one. So just rolling again, you find a sweet spot, or when your fingers start to want to curl up, just hang out there for a sec, just kind of do this little wee tiny rolls back and forth, and just roll it out. And then work your way down to your wrist. So you're going to do that for a few minutes. Again, sometimes they feel so good, I just like to hang out there. Second version of this one is just flip your hand right over. And then we're doing the back side of the forearm. Again, depending on the time of the month, you may really feel this also in your pubic bone area, and that is quite okay. We're just opening up any sort of tension and stiffness. Sometimes I feel it in the breast area too, because they are rolling at the same time I'm moving with some of these positions. It's okay, especially in the breast area, because what it's doing is it's helping to open up some lymph node areas. And because we are standing with our arms out in front of us all day long, the inside of the shoulder tends to get really tight too. So this is really good for just opening up tension. You can also do your hand, so you can do the back of your hand. For people who get sore hands, you can also do the palm of the hand and hang out with all that. So again, just a quick recap before I go into my last and final tip. This here is literally a magic wand for helping relieving aches and pains for those who are suffering with a lot of chronic body pain. But it's not the be all end all, because there is more that has to happen. A lot of the reason why we hurt is because we work in a toxic environment, and with that toxicity, it can create some inflammation. And this is one of the things that I specialize in when I am sharing health and wellness in our industry. A lot of the products we use have very little or no testing on the long-term ill health effects on hairstylists. And if you were to look up a lot of the statistics that are out there, you will probably be very surprised, and there's a good chance that some of the boxes you will be checking off. I know for me, around the 5-year mark, that's when some of the aches and pains started showing up. Around the 8-year mark, infertility showed up for me. And then around the 10-year mark, I started getting some uterine and ovarian fibroids. So the girl part stuff definitely runs in my family DNA, as well as it's also a work-related hazard that is very common in the industry. So that's just a little bit about me. One of the things that I brought into my life, into my body, as well as into my profession, is some whole food nutrition products. And really the reason why I did that, and I didn't understand it completely at the time that I did, but the reason why I did was I knew a little bit about inflammation and systemic inflammation, which means that it's like running through my system where when that happens, it can start to create some internal changes that can manifest into things like fibromyalgia, lupus, any kind of autoimmune disease. When you're full of systemic inflammation, stuff starts to show up. For me, it was infertility, and then developing into those fibroids. Really common in our field. I can go on and on about that. I've been doing tons of information gathering, so if there's anything that you are interested in hearing a little bit more on, definitely reach out to me. But internal wise, so that is something you can do external, right? This is the outer world stuff, the ball, and this is also great to put on your back and lean up against a wall and really get in there and dig into some of those tight muscles too. So those are two great tools for helping with the outside stuff. These are the tools that I use for working on the inside stuff. So these help with reducing inflammation, and what they are is, it's a vegetable blend, raw whole food, okay? Fruit blend, berry blend, and then this is plant-based omegas. So I choose not to use fish omegas. I use plant-based omegas. So all of these things are really good for systemic inflammation, healthy gut-brain connection. Basically, it's concentrated raw whole food in a capsule that I just add these into my smoothie every morning. And then when my husband and I sit down for dinner, we have another one of each with our dinner, so that we're getting steady nutrition throughout the day to help with our performance with our busy lives. So if you're interested in any more information on that, that is also probably the biggest tip that as far as making changes that I ever did, because it helped me, once my body was feeling more nourished, it helped me to be able to do other things that were beneficial for my body. So I hope you enjoyed this little bit of kind of pain relief, doing some stretches, doing some self-care, learning a little bit about how to reduce inflammation. Yeah, I hope that this was beneficial and that you got something from it. If you're interested in more information, like I said, you can reach out to me. The other way to learn more is to join the private Facebook group, Vibrant Hairstylists. I will be honest, I don't post a lot, so I'm not going to spam with a whole bunch of posts, but every once in a while I pop in there with some really value-rich content on how to be a vibrant hairstylist. So if you're interested in checking it out, go find us on Facebook. I hope you're having a great day. Lots of love and healing light, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.